Welcome to Harvard Summer School's Programs for High School Students webinar. My name is JP Knapik, and as you can see from the floating image of a bald man in the corner of your screen, that's me, and I'm your moderator for today's webinar. I'm thrilled that so many of you are joining us online from near and far to learn more about our programs for high school students at Harvard Summer School. And whether you started the webinar late or maybe need to leave a little early, we've got you covered. Today's webinar is being recorded, and we will share it on Harvard Summer School's YouTube channel in early March. As many of you know, we are fast approaching our regular application deadline very soon, on Friday, March 13th at noon Eastern Standard. The good news is there are still spots left in both of our 2- and 7-week programs. However, do not delay. March 13th is only 23 days away. That's less than a month. So be sure to pay close attention to our speakers during the webinar, who will have helpful information to aid in submitting your application on time. And for what it's worth, just by logging into this webinar today, you are well on your way to doing just that. You may be happy to know that prospective students, just like you, apply and attend from all over the United States and countries from 6 continents. Come on, Erica, what do you have against Harvard? Former students say that exposure to different points of view helped them become better critical thinkers and opened up their perspectives on life and the world at large. Some even stay in touch with their classmates well into their college years. I recently heard from a former student who attended back in 2016, and she's now roommates with another former student she met here at Harvard Summer School. This year, we expect over 10,000 high school students from all over the world to apply to our programs. Which brings me to introducing our presenters. 4 individuals integral in creating and maintaining 2 intensive, academically challenging, and some might even say transformative programs. I'm so excited that we have our 2 program directors with us here today. Between the 2 of them, they have over 30 years of experience developing and overseeing higher education programs for high school students. Mr. Bill Hollinger is the director of our 7-week secondary school program, and Dr. Jacqueline Newcomb is the director of our 2-week pre-college program. I think it's pretty obvious that they will both speak about their respective programs, but furthermore, they will also give you tips to consider as you prepare your application for either program. I'm also delighted that we have with us today Gina Neugebauer, Assistant Director of the Secondary School Program, and Emma Corbett, a coordinator for the high school programs. Gina will walk us through what campus life is like here at Harvard, from living at Harvard dorms and houses, to activities, campus safety, and more. Emma, the future unsung hero of this webinar, will be monitoring and helping moderate our Q&A at the end of this webinar. If you have not submitted a question yet, or don't know how to, just look for the Q&A icon at the bottom or top of your webinar screen. And if you're not quite sure what the Q&A icon looks like, we did you a favor right there and put a picture right next to Emma Corbett's picture. Now, some of you might be wondering, why is Emma the webinar's unsung hero? Well, this is our 3rd webinar we've hosted for the high school programs, and it's very apparent that you all come pretty prepared with your questions. So prepared that we've averaged 400 questions each from the last 2 webinars. I mean, Emma's like the Flash, typing as fast as she can to answer your questions. And although we consider her our own Wonder Woman, I'm sorry to disappoint, but she is but a mere mortal who cannot possibly get to all your questions by the end of this webinar. So, just to set expectations, there's a good chance that we may, or probably won't, be able to answer all your questions during our webinar. but Emma and the rest of our team will follow up with answers to all your questions by the end of next week via email. And that's pretty much how we'll spend the next 60 minutes together online. And I'm sure most of you are thinking, when is this guy going to just zip it and let us hear from the VIPs in the room? So without further ado, let's begin by learning about the secondary school program. And who better to share what this program is all about but our very own students.
I chose to attend the secondary school program because it provided many, many different courses that other programs did not provide. You could get the full college experience, an entire semester's worth of classes, and get the credit on top of it. As my class choice, I picked astronomy. I get to go to an observation session in the astronomy observatory on top of the science center. You get to see so many different things from a perspective you've never seen them before.
I really wanted to do something worthwhile with my summer. With the 7-week program, I was able to take 2 different classes, and these are classes that I'm taking with Harvard students. It feels more genuine to the actual college experience because you're here for a lot longer and you have a little bit more freedom on top of that.
The fact that we are independent is really important because when you go to college, you have to be independent. You have to learn to take care of yourself. Being taught that before actually going to college is really helpful.
Your mom is not knocking on your door, telling you to get up, get out of bed. You're in charge of your life. You have to make your own to-do lists. You have to mark your own calendar. There's so much that I've learned from the secondary school program that I have applied in college. Knowing when I need to reach out for help, knowing when to go to office hours, now it's just second nature since I've done it.
Studying with Harvard faculty is really interesting because they're really informed and intelligent, really easy to approach, really easy to talk to.
Living right in the middle of Harvard Yard is a really cool experience because you can come out and you can do your homework here, and then you're so close to everything. And all of my classes are really nearby as well.
Cambridge is absolutely beautiful. The river is gorgeous. There's just so many cool places to see. And Boston's also very close by.
Exploring Boston was a lot of fun. I went to Newbury Street on a trip with the summer school, so I went with a couple of the proctors and a couple other students that I hadn't met before. And I tried a whole bunch of food, and then I also went shopping.
There are many activities here, and they're all very engaging. And one I participated in and liked the most is a cake decorating event. You get to work with a team. Thankfully, the judges did not taste our cake, and we stole the cake and ate it in our dorms.
There's also a lot of socials. For example, I went to like a Black student social where I met a lot of really nice people.
They had one for the LGBTQ plus community, which was a game night. And I remember walking in, just the atmosphere was so, so, so welcoming and warm. And one of my friends cried actually because she'd never felt so accepted before.
I think the diversity of students and the diversity of cultural values really helps shape the educational experience here at Harvard. The people here help build each other up.
When I first came here, I thought I was gonna have a really hard time making friends. That was completely untrue. It was really easy to make friends.
Your dorm mates genuinely care about you. They make sure you eat. They make sure you sleep on time sometimes.
Meeting new people and having a solid group of friends who really motivated me and really cared for me. I felt a sense of belonging and I felt a sense of importance.
I really hate leaving. I also always remember how close we were. We're kind of like a family.
This experience has definitely made me think about college differently. It feels like something I can do. I feel more independent, like I would survive more than a couple days without my mom. This is one of my favorite summers.
I think it's an experience that most people should have in their lives.
Be ready to be challenged. Be ready to meet new people. Get outside of your comfort zone.
Thank you, students. So hello and welcome. I am Bill Hollinger, and here at Harvard, we are very excited to be planning our 54th year of bringing high school students to Harvard for summer study. In 2020, the secondary school program dates are June 20th to August 8th. If you're eligible, you may apply for the program and for financial aid right after this webinar. The early application deadline has passed, but the regular decision deadline for admission is March 13th, about 3 weeks from right now. Applicants in this current cycle will be notified of an admission decision on April 7th. Once admitted, you accept your admission, and then you may register for your courses, just like that. If you arrive on campus on Saturday, June 20th, and summer school classes begin that Monday, June 22nd. The truly astonishing thing about the secondary school program is that it offers high school students the opportunity to enroll in real Harvard courses. You choose your classes from among the hundreds of Harvard summer school courses, and you earn undergraduate academic credit, which in future years can be transferred to the college you attend. It's a preview of real college academics. You take classes alongside college students, possibly some graduate students, and other smart high school students like yourself. It's a challenge, and it's a tremendous opportunity. It's your future coming true next summer. International students, of course, are welcome to apply. We read applications from students all over the world. We ask for evidence of English language proficiency in the form of a language test score, and we also ask that your high school transcript be translated into English. Now, in the secondary school program, you can attend 3 ways. You can take an online course or 2, or if you live near campus, you can attend classes as a commuter, or you can be a residential student, live in Harvard housing, and attend classes on campus. Secondary school program students enroll in courses taught by the same professors who teach at Harvard College during the regular fall and spring terms, as well as by faculty from colleges and universities all over the world. When it's time to register for your classes, you'll have more than 200 courses to choose from. We are here to advise you during that process. We know the courses well, and we are happy to talk with you about your interests and help you enroll in classes you'll enjoy and be successful in. There is flexibility built into choosing courses. You can change courses anytime during the spring, all the way into the summer. Classes begin on June 20th. There remains a drop add period 3 days into the first week, Monday through Wednesday. During those 3 days, you may attend other classes and see whether you like another course better. You have 3 days to change courses after classes begin. High school students currently in their junior year, sophomore year, or senior year are eligible to apply. In the US, that's current 10th, 11th, and 12th graders. The program cost depends on how you attend, as an online student only, as a commuter living off campus, or as a residential student living in a Harvard dorm on campus and taking meals in Annenberg Dining Hall. Key dates include, once again, the regular application deadline of Friday, March 13th by noon Eastern Time. Decisions for all regular applicants will be released on Tuesday, April 7th by 5 p.m. Once you accept your admission into the program, you can register for your classes, and then, before you know it, you'll be packing for opening weekend, June 20th and 21st, and finally, the beginning of classes, June 22nd. Then, sadly, the summer term ends when the dormitories close at noon on Saturday, August 8th. And that is the 7-week secondary school program. I am happy now to pass the mic back to our devilishly handsome MC, JP, to move us along to what's next.
You are way too kind there, Mr. Bill. Thank you very much. And thank you for providing such a brief yet pretty thorough overview of the secondary school program. For those of you who still have questions, please add them using the Q&A function at the bottom of your screen. And I just wanted to clarify one thing that came to a surprise to us today. Unfortunately, we might not be able to answer these questions until after the webinar today. We apologize for that, but we will be sure to answer your questions in a timely manner within the next week. So, 7 weeks at Harvard, being surrounded by some of the brightest minds, tons of history, and being right next door to Boston. Seems like quite an unforgettable way to spend a summer, right? But some of you might not have a full 7 weeks to spare. That's where the pre-college program might come in. Before I turn it over to the director of our 2-week pre-college program, Dr. Jacqueline Newcomb, let's take a peek at the student experience from their point of view.
I took an introduction to criminal law and criminal procedure, and I loved it. I loved stepping into Harvard Yard and seeing the bustle of students around me, while at the same time knowing that there were a bunch of kids out there doing the same thing I was doing.
It's like an entire semester of college that's been distilled down to 2 weeks. So there's exciting and intense social experiences and a lot of learning in the classroom.
I had never been away from home this long, so 2 weeks seemed like the perfect time to actually experience it here and not get super homesick. I'm taking Intro to Computer Programming, which is something I had never done before. So I thought, what better way to introduce myself to it than at Harvard? It's been a really cool crash course in 2 weeks. I know so much more than I did coming into the program. Yesterday, we finished a tic-tac-toe game. It was the hardest thing in the whole world, but it felt so good to finish it.
Something I love about this program is the independence that you have, the responsibility that they give you. You learn how to have a routine, how to go to your class on time.
It's a simulation of an actual college experience. You have 15 hours of class a week, and you have the rest of the time to yourself. So you get to choose what you want to do in that free time, yet you still have that responsibility to do your homework, to study for quizzes.
My professors were really engaged with the class. They're really friendly and encouraging and helpful.
At high school, I'm always pressed by grades because I'm always trying to get that A. The non-credit aspect of the program puts less stress on me.
It's not as much about grades as it is about just learning something.
The Passport program has been great so far. I've loved everything I've signed up for.
It's a great opportunity just to get out of your shell.
I did a trip to Canby Lake Park with friends who I had only known for a week, which was very fun.
I participated in Escape the Yard. It was kind of like a scavenger hunt / trivia / game show in Harvard Yard that challenged us intellectually and physically because we're running everywhere.
I loved being in an environment of people from all over, and that's the kind of environment I am in now at college.
I was kind of surprised to see so many people from so many different countries when I arrived. Coming from all around the world, they have many different life experiences and bring many different perspectives.
You feel like where you live is the only place, and then you see these kids from all over the world, and you realize there's a lot that you don't know.
It's a great experience academically and socially. It has all the opportunities that you would ever want in a summer, getting insight into what college is about, and at the same time, meeting new people.
This experience has made me feel more prepared for college. It's made it less daunting. I honestly wish I was doing it for a little bit longer. I'm not really ready to leave here. I'm having too much fun.
We're saying goodbye. It's so much fun and you learn so much. Absolutely do it. It is a remarkable experience that will change a lot of parts of you for the better.
This has literally been like the best 2 weeks of my life, and I love you guys just so much, and you guys are the best.
Go to the pre-college program. That's what I would say. Go and learn something that you never thought you were capable of learning before.
Hello, my name is Jacqueline Newcomb and I direct the pre-college program, Harvard's summer school 2-week residential program. The pre-college program is a great opportunity for those who cannot spend an entire summer at Harvard. Our session dates for 2020 are June 28th to July 10th, July 12th to the 24th, and July 26th through August 7th. You will experience college life as you attend challenging courses, live on campus in one of our upper class houses, and enjoy fun excursions and activities as part of our pre-college passport. Students in our programs hail from nearly every US state. We still need someone from Wyoming, so if you're on this, please apply, and over 70 countries. This offers a true opportunity for you to meet and learn with bright students from around the world. The pre-college program offers non-credit courses, allowing students to focus on learning for learning's sake. The courses are intensive and academically rigorous, covering nearly a semester worth of work in just 2 weeks. Courses meet daily for 3 hours, and students should expect 2 to 4 hours of homework each night. It's important to note that you must attend all of your classes, including the last day, in order to successfully complete the program. Since our program is short, we want to ensure that you get a true taste of Harvard. So all of our instructors are Harvard-affiliated faculty, staff, postdocs, or advanced doctoral students who have experience teaching Harvard undergraduates. There are over 30 courses offered in each of the sessions, ranging from astronomy, biology, physics, and neuroscience, to writing, speech, economics, law, and philosophy. Although you may only participate in one course per session, some pre-college students attend 2 or even 3 separate sessions so that they can take more than one course. Class size is limited, with most around 15 to 18, in order to foster an environment of collaboration where the instructor and the students develop a strong relationship. All pre-college students receive a written evaluation from the instructor, and it is a great supplement to add to your college applications. You can also request an official transcript with your non-credit grades. In addition to your academic course, students also are engaged in the pre-college passport activities. Prior to arrival, students sign up for 2 events in each of the 4 co-curricular categories: academic exploration, college readiness, social and residential activities, and trips and recreation. With the pre-college passport, you have the freedom to choose the events you would like to attend during the program, but you also have the responsibility to challenge yourself by learning new skills and engaging with new ideas. High school students graduating in 2021 or 2022, those currently in their sophomore or junior year, are eligible to apply to the pre-college program. Applicants must be 15 years old by December 1st of last year and not turn 19 before this July 31st. The program fee of $4,750 includes your tuition, room, meal plan, and all of the co-curricular activities. Applications have all been open since December, and if you're not a if you are a U.S. citizen or president, or you have DACA status, you may apply for need-based financial aid. The deadline for financial aid and regular decision is March 13th at noon Eastern Time. Although we accept applications through early May, many of our most popular courses are full long before that time, so don't delay. In the next section, we'd like to give you an idea of what it's like to study at Harvard, especially as a high school student. Although our program keeps you busy with coursework, we have plenty of activities and resources for you outside of the classroom. I'd like to turn things over to my colleague Gina, who will talk about life on campus.
Hi everyone, Gina Neugebauer here. So let's get down to business. Let's talk about the residential experience. High school students living on campus with us live in the buildings where Harvard College students live during the fall and spring semesters. Most secondary school program students live in dormitories in Harvard Yard, where first-year Harvard students live in the fall and spring. All pre-college program and some secondary school program students live in Harvard houses, where Harvard upper-class students live in the fall and spring. You live with roommates and suitemates, share bedrooms, sometimes with bunked beds, and share bathrooms and common rooms with your roommates or suitemates. There are many combinations and variations of rooms and the size of suites, because the architecture of Harvard dormitories varies a great deal from building to building. Safety in the dorms is paramount, and so the residential buildings are accessible only to high school students and our staff. Older students and other adults are not allowed in your dorms, except during move-in. Our proctors, which are our residential assistants, live amongst you to assist and guide you. Our proctors are Harvard College students, and they are there to counsel and advise you and to answer any questions you may have. While academics require a good deal of work and study outside the classroom, Harvard Summer School organizes many activities to fill your free time with engaging and fun activities. These can include intramural sports like basketball, swimming, soccer, and tennis, social events like dances and game night in Annenberg Dining Hall, talent shows, college prep activities like the college admissions panel with college students from various institutions, and the annual college fair held the second week of July, trips to Boston, Cape Cod, and Newport, Rhode Island, Major League Baseball games, service opportunities, for example, like volunteering in a local homeless shelter. Harvard has amazing resources, and these are all open to our summer students. You can do research in Harvard libraries, work out or swim or play basketball in Harvard gyms, go rowing on the Charles River, attend a concert in Sanders Theater, and you can visit all the Harvard museums at no charge. As Harvard students in our summer programs, you will have access to Harvard University Health Services, as well as other medical resources, such as local Harvard hospitals. In addition, the Summer School Accessibility Services Office is here to assist all of our admitted students success academically and socially. The university works very hard to keep students safe. Safety is the first priority of all staff and administrators. Residential staff are well trained, and there are 2 locked doors between the public campus and students in their suites. Harvard has its own police department whose job it is to protect our students. Additional security guards patrol the residential areas 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And now I'm going to transfer it back over to Dr. Newcomb, who will talk to you a little bit about the application process.
We hope that what we've shared about our programs and what living at Harvard is like interests you enough to want to come here and study with us in 2020. But in order to do so, you need to apply first. I am here to share a little information about our application process. I'll be fully transparent in letting you know that the only advantage you have by attending this webinar when it comes to the application is that you will be a little better prepared for what to expect. Both the secondary school and the pre-college programs are looking for mature, academically motivated applicants who are interested in engaging in challenging college-level courses. We expect our students to have a strong academic record and a passion for learning. Whether you have many interests or are more focused in one area, we want to read all about this in your short essays. A complete application includes contact information, several essays, your grade report or transcripts from 9th grade to the current semester, and if you're a non-native speaker of English, TOEFL or IELTS scores. Within the online application, you can send your guidance counselor or school head an email to complete a counselor report. Please note that the non-refundable application fee is $75. When completing your short essays, please be thorough. Although we ask you to write only a couple of paragraphs, we would really like to get to know you and determine if our programs are right for you. Our goal is to admit applicants who will thrive in our programs. The essays offer us an opportunity to determine your level of interest. Please be sure to proofread them before submitting. Using a phone or a mobile device is not recommended. Consider this application a practice run for the ones you will complete when applying to university in the future. Once you upload all materials and submit your application, you should log back into the website within a few days to check your status. This step will enable you to see if the materials you and your counselor submitted were received properly and meet the criteria. For example, we require current semester grades, and those are often missing from the academic transcript. So many students also submit their most recent report card or progress reports. Lastly, we know some of you are attending this webinar as international students. So here are a few things to be aware of as you consider applying to either program. As Mr. Hollinger and I previously mentioned, students from other countries where English is not your primary language are required to demonstrate English proficiency in the form of a language test score, like the TOEFL or the IELTS. And we also ask that your high school transcript be translated into English. All instruction here at Harvard Summer School and all application materials are written in English, so a high level of English language proficiency is a must. Financial aid is only available to US citizens, permanent residents, or individuals who have DACA status. Unfortunately, we do not have financial aid options for international students. International students participating in the secondary school program require an F1 student visa to study on campus, and the application deadline for international students wanting to attend the 7-week secondary school program is April 23rd.
Thank you, Dr. Newcomb, for sharing those insights that I'm sure our participants are vigorously taking notes on. And before we move on to our Q&A, I wanted to share one more video with you with somebody very important who has some anecdotes about what she thinks these two programs brings students every summer.
I think the most exciting experience for a student coming to either one of these programs is the chance to discover intellectual realms that they wouldn't have known about otherwise. What you have the chance to do here at the Harvard Summer School is taste some of those disciplines, look at anthropology, look at immunology, take courses in philosophy and law or psychopharmacology, and discover fields that aren't available to you as a regular high school student. That's an extraordinary experience, and I think sets you up so well for college. There are some real academic outcomes that we hope students will accomplish in either secondary school program or the pre-college program. How to manage your time. This is one of the things I think students really struggle with when they get to college, because you have so much more flexibility in your schedule. So how do you manage your time? How do you decide how much to study? How much time do you spend in the library? How do you fit in exercise and just time for social engagement? So I think that's a really important skill, but equally important, and perhaps even more important, is the opportunity to develop the kinds of academic skills that will set you up well for college. You'll be writing a lot. You'll be giving oral presentations. You'll be engaging in what we hope is civilized debate in the classroom. And those are skills as well that will stand you in very good stead in college.
So there you have it. You've heard from 5 of probably the most important people here at Harvard Summer School, giving you tips, advice, trying to build excitement about everything Harvard Summer School could possibly offer. So with that, let's move on to our Q&A, because I'm sure as much as knowledgeable as our 4 presenters are today, I'm sure you still have some burning questions that you'd like answered today. So with that, we'll turn it over to Emma, and she'll moderate our Q&A.
Thank you, JP. Hello, everyone.
Hello, Emma.
Hi, Emma.
We are going to move to the next slide because we just want to show a quick comparison of the Harvard pre-college program versus secondary school program, because we had a few questions come in, and it's just good for the students and for y'all to read through this while we're answering other questions, because these are very popular questions. So we're going to start along these lines. Some students are curious to know if we can explain once more the difference between early, regular, and late deadlines. They're specifically curious to know if they can submit their application by the deadline, but submit scores or counselor reports or other materials after the deadline.
We appreciate your eagerness to get your application in as soon as possible. It makes it easier for us to review them in a timely manner, as well as for you to get a decision in time to find the course that is the best fit for you and make any travel arrangements you may need to make. However, the admissions committee cannot review your application until it is complete, which means that we need your parent or legal guardian to send in your rules of medical form, which is an online form that you send to them through the application. We also need your guidance counselor or school principal or head to send in that council report and any updated grades or transcripts or scores. For British students who are taking the GCSEs, we will take your predicted scores as well as any scores you've already received, in addition to your school reports. And we had a couple questions about that in the chat, so I wanted to make sure we clarified that. If you're taking the TOEFL or the IELTS, and you won't have your decision or your scores at the time of your application, we will not consider it complete until we have those. We have received several questions from students who are impacted by the coronavirus, where there are no TOEFL or IELTS tests being held at this time, especially in some Asian countries. For those students, if you'd like to submit a language waiver at the time of your application, you are welcome to do so, along with some supplementary materials such as graded essays in English, a letter from your English teacher, and so forth. If the admissions committee feels that that is enough to make a decision on your application, they will do so at that time. If they do not, they will request additional information for you, and you will receive an email stating you can send in additional information. At that time, if you are interested, you can work with the company Initial View and do a written essay through them as well as an interview, and we will review that as part of the second read of your application. But it would not replace the TOEFL or the IELTS scores. So hopefully that clarified.
Jeannie, you want to talk about expired TOEFL scores?
Sure, yes. Another tip is if you have expired TOEFL or IELTS scores, we would accept those in lieu of updated TOEFL scores, because we understand that TOEFL scores or TOEFL centers are closed. So.
And that is an exception for students who are impacted by the coronavirus.
Yes.
So if you are not in a country that is impacted in that way, we will expect you to submit your language proficiency scores.
Great.
Thank you. Thank you for answering a bunch of questions all at once.
Yes, sorry.
Amazing.
Oh, I have one more thing to add, which is if you miss the regular deadline of March 13th, don't fret. We will still read applications that come in late. You just won't receive your decision on April 7th. You'll get it after that date on a rolling basis. We had that question a couple times today too.
Although I would mention, if you are applying for financial aid, you must meet that March 13th deadline. We cannot accept it any later than that.
Thank you, Gina and Dr. Newcomb. And Mr. Hollinger as well. I would just like to repeat that we have the age requirements listed for each program at the bottom of this page. We do see a lot of questions asking about specific scenarios of their students' age and what grade they're in. We'd like to announce and let you know now that we unfortunately do not make any exceptions with this eligibility requirement. So please review those and keep that in mind while asking questions.
And if you're not eligible now, please consider applying next year. And just note that if you are, we had a couple of students who asked if they are currently in 12th grade, you can do the 7-week secondary school program. You just are not eligible for the pre-college program.
Thank you. Okay, so a great question that we got here was a student who was wondering what are the most sought after courses for each program, and do you have any to recommend to the students listening today?
Oh, that's a great question. Yeah, I answer it for the secondary school program.
Please do.
I would say when you look at the courses, the things to keep in mind if you're going to be ready to register for classes early, soon on March 2nd or soon after, the thing to look for are the limited enrollment courses. Courses like the writing courses, the public speaking class and so forth are very popular, and the smaller classes in the SSP fill up more quickly. The Harvard Summer School has great courses in all academic subjects, sciences, liberal arts, history, everything. There's history of science, and a lot of those classes have good capacity, and 20 students, 40 students. Some of the big courses are lecture courses with labs associated. And there's no particular rush to get into those, but look for the smaller classes. I wonder if Gina has anything to add to the question of what the popular courses are for SSP students.
I think two really interesting courses that are going to be offered this summer are biotechnology and the human good. So that's a really exciting course. And then another course which is very pressing in today's world is the opioid epidemic. And those are two great courses that students really enjoyed last year, but yeah.
In terms of the pre-college program, again, our courses are 2 weeks long and they're non-credit. So you're really spending your time engaging in academic inquiry without the concern of what the grade will be. Of course, you are evaluated at the end of the program. You get a written evaluation, but for those of you who are a little nervous about taking a course at Harvard, the pre-college program might be a good fit for you, especially if it's your first time taking a college course. With the 7-week program, you do receive Harvard credit, and you can usually transfer that to other institutions. We've had a couple of those questions as well. For pre-college, we have, our curriculum mirrors the Harvard curriculum. So we have everything from law and business, which economics and government. Some of my favorite courses are at the very bottom of the catalog. There's 103 courses running in pre-college, and not everyone scrolls to the bottom. So one of my very favorite courses is the Intellectual Economy of Pants, Fashion, Gender, and Power. Pants. It's about the fashion industry and how the economy has impacted fast fashion and disposable clothing and how that impacts the environment, as well as just the way that gender and sexuality play into fashion. It's just a fascinating course, and I love it. A couple other ones that are really interesting: masterful storytelling. If you are interested in doing sort of getting your voice out there in a succinct way, being able to tell a story on stage for 5 minutes straight and really make an impact, the woman who teaches that course is a faculty member at Harvard who teaches the speech class to every Harvard first-year student who takes it. So she's amazing. Margie Zone is her name, and she is a great, it's a great course. And then we have some really cool stuff like Introduction to Black Holes. And last year, our Introduction to Astrophysics class was so popular that we started a second class taught by the same faculty member who is a Smithsonian postdoc, Smithsonian Institute postdoc here at the Center for Astrophysics, who is running his astrophysics class both with algebra level math and calculus based. So if you want a higher level of math, you can take that at the calculus level this year. Again, all of the classes in the pre-college program are pretty small. Most of them, all of our speech classes are capped at 14, for example, and our largest classes are typically around 20.
I think what I would say for both programs is that if you have questions about courses that are being offered and what courses you feel would be the best fit for you, or you have questions, contact us. We mirror our students. We want to talk to you. Mom and dad can be on the phone, but it's really your choice in coursework. We want you to be passionate about the course you're in because it is going to be intense. So you want to make sure it's in a subject that you're really passionate about.
And I would reiterate that in the secondary school program, you can drop and add courses all the way up until when you arrive on campus, and even beyond. Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday of opening weekend, you can visit other courses. And if you find a class that you like better than one of the two that you're already registered for, you can drop add in that first week of classes. The other thing I would mention is that both of our programs have terrific courses in computer science. So if you're into computers, it's a great place to spend some time in the summer.
And we had a question from someone, do you apply for more than one course at a time? And are you accepted by course? The way our admissions works is holistic. So we accept you to the program. Once you're accepted, you choose your course. So we'll ask you a question about what you're interested in to gauge your academic interest and passion. However, you don't register or you're not accepted into a specific course in either program. You're accepted to the program and then you select which course. And again, with secondary school students, they typically take 2 courses, but if you're commuting or online, you can take 1. With pre-college, you take 1 for each 2-week session. So you can come to 1 session or you can come to more than 1 session, but you only take 1 class at a time.
And just a reminder, you can only apply for either the pre-college program or the secondary school program. Unfortunately, you cannot apply to both.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
A few students were wondering if they could have just a little more information about what the counselor report is and who they ask to complete that for them.
Sure. So the counselor report form is generally filled out by a counselor, a principal, a headmaster. If your school has a college advisor, that would be the person that fills it out. Generally, we prefer teachers not fill it out. They can always submit a letter of recommendation in addition to this form. And the reason being is that the counselor report form not only looks at you as a student and provides information about your academic record, but also provides us an overview of the school's academic record and how other students are performing and who wants to, how many are anticipated to attend other colleges. So like I said, it's usually a counselor, principal, headmaster. If you are a homeschooled student, mom and dad unfortunately cannot fill this form out, but we understand that you don't necessarily have a principal or headmaster that isn't mom or dad. So we ask that you reach out to a teacher or some kind of assessment coordinator or testing facilitator to do this overview. And we understand that we won't get necessarily the same information, but we need someone who's not mom or dad.
Thank you. Awesome. A few students were wondering if we could quickly go into detail. I know we've mentioned this a little bit, but what is the benefit really of applying regular versus late on time for certain deadlines? And if you're thinking about next summer, applying before the early deadline, etc.
So the benefit of, if there's anyone on the call, which I think there are some students on the webinar who asked about early. So I'll talk a little bit about early. The deadline for early was January 31st, and those decisions will go out on Tuesday. Whew. So we're sending out several thousand decisions on Tuesday. It's very exciting. And nonetheless, the benefit of doing it is that course registration opens on Thursday for pre-college and the following Monday for secondary school. So you will have your first choice of courses. If you are applying regular and you have all your materials in by March 13th, you will have a decision by April 7th, which again will give you first opportunity to register before the late applicants, as well as be able to register before the full payment deadline. The payment deadline for pre-college is April 15th, and for the secondary school is May 18th. May 18th. So that will give you a little more time to make your plans. For late applicants, we read them on a rolling basis. So once the decisions go out for regular, then we'll start reading the late applicants, and you'll receive decisions depending on how many we have. Sometimes as quickly as 3 to 5 days. Other times, if we have a lot, it'll be up to 3 weeks. But we try to read them as quickly as we can once the late period begins, because we know you have plans to make.
So for any international applicants, it's much better to try to get that deadline of the regular. That allows you not only to know what the admissions decision is, but start your paperwork for any kind of visa purposes. For all students, if you're going to be traveling, that allows you a little more wiggle room in purchasing flights and making travel arrangements. And in general, meeting that deadline allows you to be able to plan for your summer better.
Thank you. Another question that we just had come up is students asking if they need any prerequisite knowledge on the subjects of the courses that they will be taking once they get here for both programs.
So for SSP, the answer is, it depends.
Same for pre-college.
So for some courses, there is no prerequisite. It is a freshman level course. So, you will just take the course and we can talk about your interests in a one-on-one advising session. But for other courses, especially the more advanced courses in the sciences and maths and computer science, we're going to need a prerequisite to make sure that you're ready for that course. And that does not mean that you are not smart enough to be in the course. What that means is that you haven't been offered the coursework to be prepared day one for the course. So for SSP, if that happens when you're registering, you'll get a special form called the special enrollment form, which asks you how you meet the prerequisites for the course. And someone from our staff will review the transcripts that you provided in your application. We may reach out for more information, and then we will let you know if you can remain in the course that you registered for, or if you will need to be dropped to a different course.
And for the pre-college program, when you're looking in the course catalog, which by the way is on our website now, so you can search the courses right now for this summer coming up for both the secondary school program, which is 7 weeks in credit, and the 2-week non-credit pre-college program. You will see when you click on a course, it will tell you if there's a prerequisite. Some of the prerequisites are as simple as students must bring a laptop to each class meeting. Others are you must have completed honors, advanced placement, or international baccalaureate level biology. So some are more specific and others are more generic. And if there isn't anything listed, then there will be no prerequisites for that course.
Thank you.
All right, we're just taking a look at other questions because I know we need to wrap up soon.
Yes.
I think it'd be helpful if we told them about how many students are in our programs. So the pre-college program is approximately 500 students in each of the 3 sessions. So about 1,500 for the summer.
And then we have generally both with are all commuting on campus and online. We have anywhere between 1,300 and 1,500 per summer.
And how many living on campus ordinarily? Around 8 or 900?
800, 900, maybe 1,000.
1,000?
It depends on who wants to live on campus. It's pretty fun on campus, though.
It's a large, wonderful community of scholars. It's a lot of fun.
All right. So there you have it, folks. Again, here are the key dates and reminders that we'll leave here for you as you go. Remember that the 2-week pre-college program course registration opens on Thursday, February 27th. And for you lucky individuals who submitted an application for the early application window, you'll know in just 5 days whether or not you were admitted. And then the 7-week secondary school program course registration opens on Monday, March 2nd. And again, applications are still open, but we suggest you apply soon since the regular application deadline, I know you've heard this a ton today, but it's Friday, March 13th at noon. Mark that down, at noon. So please take note of our contact information should you have any questions about any of our programs or the application process moving forward. This can also be found on the Contact Us section of the summer school website. On behalf of the Harvard Summer School team, I would like to thank Mr. Hollinger, Dr. Newcomb, Gina Neugebauer, and Emma Corbett for joining us today, and thank you for attending this webinar. We hope it was beneficial to helping you make the best decision for you, and we hope to see many of you, if not all, this summer. Enjoy the rest of your day.